Hi again then guys, and welcome to yet another specific unicorn review, both in a general sense and for this one in a very specific sense in the world of Forza, but also more significantly than that, this is our first review in the world of Forza 3. Because, of course, we've covered Forza 2, Forza 4, Forza 6, 7, the Horizon games, but never Forza 3. Now I must admit, Forza 3 has never been one of my favourite Forza games. It might even be my least favourite of them all, because it always felt to me like kind of a stopover between Forza 2 and Forza 4. Forza 4 was basically what Forza 3 wanted to be. It was that very pure, high elevated feel, very classy, tons of cars, great variation, way more tracks, but Forza 3 is still a great game. Of course, the graphics were far better than Forza 2, the physics were updated, you had a ton of new cars, so it's not a bad game by any means, but I just don't have any memories really of playing this game, even though I got it day one, played it until Forza 4 came out, and yet I have no recollection of most of the stuff that I did on the game. It was just kind of forgettable for me. Now, with Forza 3, the reason why I'm covering this particular car in this game and not in Forza 4, because this car is featured on Forza 4, is because on Forza 4, as I alluded to in the outset of the video, this is a true unicorn car. Not just in a general sense, but specifically it is a car that is one of the unicorns. You have to unlock it. And I never did, or if I did it was on a different game save and I don't have it anymore. But still, at least it gives us the opportunity to feature some cars from Forza 3, which of course deserves to have its own series of reviews anyway. There are a number of unique cars to this game which haven't been featured since, or in some cases even before. So, this vehicle, which is of course a Supra, very hotly debated at the moment, or not so much debated, but let's say wanted a lot on both Forza and Gran Turismo as separate franchises, because for strange reasons, I'm sure there are reasons, that Toyota is removing their cars, the Supra was one of the first to go in fact, from racing games. Now, I'm not sure if there is a specific reason for that, like a Porsche-style EA deal or something like that. I wouldn't have thought Toyota would do that, but maybe they have. I would have thought personally it's more likely that they removed the Supra specifically to try and get more attention onto their new Supra, which I don't believe is going to be called the Supra, but that's basically what it is with their partnership with BMW for their new main sports car. Now, maybe that's not the case, but if you already have something as beloved as the Supra on a game, it's automatically going to overshadow that new model. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if they removed the Supra from the games to really focus attention on this new model when it gets released on multiple platforms as DLC. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I see happening. Now, this vehicle in particular is of course not just a Supra, because all Forza games have Supras. This one is a special Supra. It's the top secret 0 to 300 Supra. Of course, 0 to 300 kilometers per hour, not miles per hour, which is around 186, 187 miles per hour in that money. So, it's powerful, to say the least. Almost 1,000 horsepower stock, you can take it even higher, and the weight is perhaps not as good as you might hope, but you can drop it. And even with the weight that it handles very well. The car weighs just under 1,500 kilos, it also puts out 650 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it's a turbo-aspirated engine, duh, and it's a 2.6 litre. Now, the class is R3 on Forza 3, 702, so it's kind of barely an R3 class vehicle. You might want to look into some detuning there if you want to use it, and the price tag is 300 grand if, of course, you choose to buy it. Now, the Supra comes with certain expectations from many people, such as it's going to be a badass drift car, a badass drag car, and 9 times out of 10, a pretty good track car as well, to say the least. But at the same time, the Supra isn't necessarily most fans' first choice of track car. There are certainly other JDM models which can beat it. Stuff like R33s, R32s, R34s, or RX-7s can beat Supras around the track. Not that it's a bad track car, it certainly can win races, but it's not most JDM players' go-to track car. However, in a straight line, There aren't many JDM cars in the world of Forza or Gran Turismo which can truly keep up with the Supra. In particular, the top-end speed is always fantastic, and that's something which I have touched on the channel before about the nature of the Supra. In particular, this form though. The older ones to some degree, but especially this one, shares something in common more specifically with the RX-7 and the NSX than it does with the Skyline or various others, and that is that the Supra is not a reworked version of an understated coupe or sedan in the way that the Skyline is. It's a purebred sports car, just like the RX-7 and the NSX, and that is a big advantage when it comes to something like top-end speed, for instance, because not only is it designed to be faster for that kind of stuff anyway, but it's also more aerodynamic than a Skyline is. Now, with that being said, this one is one of the quickest cars on pretty much any Forza game that features it. There are some other Supras which can give it a good run for its money, especially back on Forza 2, when we had the AB Flug Supra with 888 horsepower. You had a couple of Veilside Supras with around 1,000 horsepower apiece. One of them is even more powerful than this one, so it has its rivals, for sure. Something like a Hennessy Viper is also a great rival for it. But after Forza 2, the rivals became much fewer and more far between. This car started to dominate its respective field, which is aftermarket tuner cars, a lot more. And I don't mean imports in a general sense, I mean specifically pre-tuned cars. Stuff like your HKS Evos, this one, the Top Secret Silvia, the Mines cars as well, the R32 and R34, and various others. This is pretty much the strongest of all of the aftermarket cars in a straight line. When you tune this one up, I believe if memory serves, you can get it to hit 60 in about 1.5, 1.6 seconds, something like that. 0 to 100 in about 2.9, 3 seconds, and a top-end speed which can pretty much take on anything else in the game, including the best supercars. So, should you get it? Well, yeah, obviously, of course you should. If you're a Supra fan, it's crazy fast. If you're not a Supra fan, it's crazy fast. Either way, whether you love the car or just like fast cars, it's a useful toy to have, a useful weapon to have in your garage. And the Top Secret Supra has a feeling of, I would say, specialness to it, where it feels like much more of a true unicorn than some other aftermarket cars. Not that the others are bad, but it just feels something a bit more special than a Mines Skyline, for instance. That's a great car in its own right, but this feels like a real beast in pretty much every way. It's a great drift car, it has monstrous acceleration, the top-end speed is fantastic, but it also looks the part, it sounds the part, and the pricing is actually pretty good. 300 grand isn't too bad at all. But that's it for this particular pick. Of course, I'll see you guys next time, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.